Hello chums, if you'd like to know the real reason the A1307 remains at 40 miles an hour, watch this video. So I'm currently driving along the A1307 between Cambridge and Huntingdon, heading towards Huntingdon. Now this road used to be the old A14, which, as you can see to the left in a minute, is the new A14, which is the Southern Huntingdon Relief Road, which was completed about 3 years ago. Now the speed limit on this road was 70 miles an hour because it was an Armco barriered dual carriageway, as you can see. But there's a lot of controversy over this road at the moment because for the last 2.5 years it's been speed reduced for about a 7 to 8 mile length between Huntingdon and Fenstanton. Now, as I say, you can see the new road, the A14 to the left, which is 70 miles an hour each way. It has the National Highway Intervention barriers, gantries, over the road further behind me, which quite often they speed reduce the speed of the vehicles through there to 40 miles an hour, which there's reasons why they do that, and I'll explain that. But the speed limit here gets reduced to 50 miles an hour, which I'm doing 50 exactly now. So this, as I say, used to be the old A14, Armco barrier, 70 miles an hour. There's lots of talk on the local Facebook groups from all the locals that, you know, questioning why this section of road should be speed reduced to 50, and in a minute it will go to 40, and there's signs that say it's speed reduced for safety reasons, simple as that. Now what's happened is the National Highways, who are in charge of this road, who control this road, they admitted a while back that they stated that the Armco barriers in certain sections needed replacing. Now that was 2.5 years ago. There we are, there's a sign on the right now, speed reduced for safety reasons. So those barriers in certain sections are dangerous, they say they need replacing. So in 2.5 years they have not been replaced. They've made promise after promise to replace and to work on the barriers, but they've not been done. So the section, there we go, down to 40 now, you see. So this is just ridiculous. So I'm going to drop my speed to 40 and you'll see how many vehicles pass me doing in excess of 40. Right, so let me explain. So this section between Fenstanton and the Godmanchester turn was more of a recent speed reduction from 70 to 40 because National Highway said there was a risk of flooding. Now the road on the left, or the verges on the left, have recently, probably about 2 months ago, they were scraped. The soil build-up on the left had become quite excessive and it had blocked a lot of drains. So they delayed the works. They said they were going to be doing them over a period of months. They never got done. Anyway, they eventually got done about 2 months ago, and they exposed a few rainwater gullies that were blocked. So we all expected that the 70 was going to be reinstated, the 40 was going to be taken away, and everybody would travel at 70. So they exposed a few gullies, and they come on and they said that they needed cleaning, the ones that found, and there was a few overhanging trees that needed dealing with. That was 2 months ago. The 70 is still in place because they say a risk of flooding. Now, about 6 weeks ago, we had massive torrential rain, biblical proportions, where the whole of Huntingdon became flooded. It was the highest water levels since about 1947, I think it was said on one of the Facebook groups. Now this road didn't flood. There were no floods at all. And you might think to yourself, well, the word flood, we used to use the word puddles. We used to have puddles years ago. We don't have puddles anymore. They're all floods. And I'm sure that is deliberate because they just, puddles are insignificant, you know, we can step through puddles. But everything's now a flood. So they basically have reduced the speed to 40 because of flooding. Now, I drive this road quite a lot on a regular basis, probably almost daily, and I've never seen floods along here. I've seen puddles and a bit of surface water, but not flooding. Now, when we get down further towards the Godmanchester turn, between Godmanchester and Huntingdon, that has been speed reduced to 40 miles an hour for a much longer period because of the barriers being substandard and needing repair. Now, obviously the people are up in arms about this because it's just a ridiculous speed reduction. I've just got somebody who's overtaken me and pulled in fairly closely, as you can see. Now, I've got a theory as to why this has been speed reduced ever since then. Okay, and I'm going to explain what it is now. The section between Huntingdon and Godmanchester, as I say, used to be a 70 mile an hour stretch. It's now 40, and I think it's simply because of this. Now, you may disagree. If you disagree, put the comments below and tell me what you think. But because highways, sorry, not highways England, it used to be Highways England, it's now National Highways. Because National Highways have stated that the barriers need replacing in certain areas, what's happened, I believe, is that they know that since they've stated that, if they keep the speed limit at 70 miles an hour, which is the national speed limit, and somebody crashes into an Armco barrier and injures themselves, they are wide open to be sued. Okay, so what they've done is they've reduced it to 40 for a litigation purpose, right? So that they know that if somebody crashes into the barrier at 40 miles an hour, the likelihood is they're not going to be injured and they're not going to be sued. So, and obviously if someone is travelling along here breaking the speed limit and they're doing 60, 70 miles an hour when the speed limit is actually 40, and they run into an Armco barrier and injure themselves, the police will launch an investigation and they'll deem that they've been speeding, so therefore they can't claim off National Highways. So it is absolutely a litigation issue as to why they've retained this speed limit of 40 miles an hour. Now, that's my opinion. Okay, now you can travel on any of the A roads around Cambridgeshire. The A1307 is a good example that runs, oh, by the way, this is the bit that they say floods. That's why they've got lane 2 coned off. Now, I've never seen floods along this section. Okay, and these cones are fairly recent. They've put these in fairly recently, I think, because of the public opinion of this road. Now, I've never seen any work going on in that coned off area either, in the months that I've been travelling along here. But get back to the 141. The A141 is a single track A road that runs between Huntingdon and up through March and up towards Norfolk. Now, that road is a single lane carriageway. The national speed limit on there is 60 miles an hour, and you have a lot of farm tractors, farm vehicles on that road, beat carrying trailers, tractors and trailers, heavy goods vehicles, motorcycles, cars, vans, light goods vehicles, all sorts travelling on that road. It's a busy road, okay, and it's 60 miles an hour. Now, they pass each other with about 6 foot gap between the two at 60 miles an hour. So you've got a head-on impact speed of 120 miles an hour, and yet that speed limit stays and remains as it's the national speed limit. Whereas this section we're on now, this is the Godmanchester turn. Okay, so this is the longest section to be 40 miles an hour, and this is the bit that they said from here to Huntingdon, which is just up the road, this is the bit they said that some of the barriers need replacing. Now, they've replaced a couple. You can see there's a little bit of work been done on the left, we've just passed it there, but it's still 40 miles an hour. Now, this is the bit that the longest bit that's been speed reduced to 40, and the locals all around are up in arms about this. And every now and again you get somebody pop onto one of the Facebook groups, the Godmanchester group, the Huntingdon group, and they'll come up and they'll say, oh, why is the A1307 still 40 miles an hour, blah, 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 blah. And everybody goes on and has a moan about it. They all put their opinion in, and they all reinstate that restate that the barriers are faulty, blah, blah, blah. And everybody moans about it for about a week, and then it gets forgotten again until somebody else a few weeks later comes on and mentions it again, and then it all kicks off again. Now, I believe that the authorities love social media, because what everybody does, they've all got a gripe. They go onto social media, they go onto Facebook, they go onto Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever it's called now, and they have a good old moan about this, like I'm doing now in actual fact, actually. They go on, have a good old moan, and then they vent their anger. That's it, it's done. But they don't actually contact the authorities. They don't actually email National Highways or the local council and ask the question why, and put pressure on them to get the work done, which will then mean that the barriers are then safe again and they can reinstate the 70 miles an hour. It doesn't happen. And that's the problem with social media. People just go on there, they say what they want to say, they have a good old, jolly good old British moan about it, and then that's it. And so what happens is the authorities just say, well, we'll just leave the 40 mile an hour a little bit longer. We'll just put another excuse in, like we found some more road gullies, or there's a few overhanging trees. But we're not going to do that work. We're going to leave it until, in fact, they've actually stated that the later section, the bit that they say floods, will not be addressed until 2025. Now, we're currently approaching December 2024, and when in 2025 will that happen? So we're now coming to the end of that 40 mile an hour section. You can see how long it's been, and we're now entering Huntingdon town centre. So we've got the station on the left, and then we'll be in the town centre. So I'd love your comments actually on what I've just stated, and what your opinion is of the reason why that 40 is for 7 or 8 miles of a perfectly good, what looks to be a perfectly good road. I'd really like your comments and some debate and some interaction. So please put your comments in the section below, and I'd love to read them. Thank you. Oh, you're still there? Blimey. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, I've got changed. You probably noticed some change from the intro that I did earlier. I've actually been down to Heathrow today on more speed restricted roads. In fact, I'm on one at the moment, the M1. I really would like it if you could put some comments in the commenty thing underneath, your opinion, etc. And if you'd also like to click the subscribe button, that would be fantastic as well, because what that means is that ultimately I'll be able to earn a few quid out of YouTube once I get enough subscribers. So if you could do that, that would be great. Thank you.